Hello! So you may be wondering, Kelly, why do you have all this furniture behind you? Well, that's a good question. So on today's video, what I'm going to do is start the process of refinishing these. So I lately have been really obsessed with the Facebook Marketplace and buying furniture. As you may or may not be able to tell by the furniture that I have right here, I love mid-century modern furniture. These are all vintage pieces that I picked up from the marketplace, and I actually got a pretty good deal on them, I think anyways. So I got the nightstand over there. That was for $45. I actually bought that just to flip, so I'm gonna start with cleaning it and then decide what I want to do. I'll give you like the full tour of these. None of them are in perfect condition, so kind of show you the flaws, and we'll go over what I plan on doing. But yeah, that I don't plan on keeping. I am going to sell that, and hopefully for more. The two end tables here, which you can't really see this one, but yeah. So end table. Those two I bought to keep. I got them for $100. They were listed for $150. I asked if she would take $100, and she said yes. So I luckily snagged those pretty quickly. And then I got this little coffee table, which I think matches pretty well. And it's a Lane coffee table. It has little brass legs. The one that's missing back there, I do have the brass leg. I just need to put it on it. But this I picked up for $60. It was listed for $75, and I asked if she'd take $50. She said $60, and I said, all right. So yeah, that's what I want to do. So yeah, I don't know what really started this, just trying to find furniture that I liked. And then I stumbled upon just videos of refinishing furniture. I bought this big cabinet. I'll insert a picture. But I bought that, and it really needed to be refinished, so I sanded it down, stained it, sprayed the lacquer spray on it, and we're using that. I might end up selling that because it's not really mid-century modern, so it doesn't quite match as well as I want, but we'll see. It fits the space perfectly, and that's kind of why I bought it, plus had free delivery because I don't have a truck, so that worked out really well for me. But yeah, I'm just gonna play that by ear. If I can sell it and make a profit, and I think I can find something else, then I will. Well, I'll just play it by ear. But part of why I want to get these done so quickly is because the coffee table set I have right now, I had bought, and I thought I would like it, but I don't. I actually got a pretty good deal on that. So I'm hoping to turn around and sell that and make a profit, and just kind of hopefully start this mini cycle of flipping furniture. I'm not going to go too crazy because I don't want to get a storage unit or anything like that, but we do have some garage space that I can use, so I'm just going to kind of see where this little venture takes me, I guess. I don't know why when I get into things I just get really into things, but yeah, I'm going to go ahead and fill you in on what these look like right now, and then we'll get to cleaning. Okay, so this is end table number 1. It's not too bad on the bottom shelf or on the legs or anything. It's a little dinged up and wear, but the top is pretty bad. The stain's completely gone. It has some watermarks, but I think we can salvage it pretty well. Coffee table, it's mostly just missing its finishing, but some water stains. But the legs overall are pretty good. And I just need to put on the middle part on that leg. It should be pretty good. Hopefully I'm getting enough before shots here. And then this end table, as you can tell, is pretty bad. I'm a little nervous about those black stains. Let me kind of come around here. It also is missing a chip on the veneer, so I think I'm gonna attempt to patch that up, but like you can tell, the front is pretty good, in that bottom shelf and the drawers and everything. It's really just the top that's pretty bad. I've been watching I'll probably link them down below, but this guy's refinishing videos and probably use the acid stuff that he always talks about with dark stains, so I don't know, we'll give that a shot. And then this one, like, the front is pretty good, but it's like really mismatched on the colors. Like the shelf and the top are so dark, it doesn't look that good to me. And it's like the finishing is like really oily, so I'm gonna attempt to tackle that. The other issue that it has is the veneer right here is kind of lifting, so I'm gonna glue that back down. But I don't know, it's like, I think it's like almost like a gold paint right here. It's kind of ugly, so we'll see what I do. I don't know. I mean, like I said, this one's I literally just bought to try to resell, so I don't know how much work I'm gonna put into it, but we'll see. Anyways, yeah, let's get started. Okay, hi guys, this is Editing Kelly, and as you can see, I'm starting to clean each of the pieces. I'm using the Murphy's wood cleaner. I just went through and gave everything a wipe down. I wipe it with the soap and water mixture, then I wipe it with just a wet towel, and then I use a dry towel to dry it off, so there's no water just sitting on each of these pieces. And yeah, I go through and do all this. Luckily for you, I only filmed one of them. And here I am attempting to scrape off the finish because I thought this would be a good idea. I don't recommend doing it, and I especially don't recommend doing it with the tool that I'm using right here. Or this tool either. This is a drywall spatula scraper thing, and yeah, I don't recommend that. If I did this over, I would have just went into sanding because scraping takes way too long, and I'm pretty sure I'd probably put some tiny little dents into the piece. Maybe next time if I attempt this, I'm going to try to use like a actual paint scraper and yeah, not the wrong tools. So yeah, time lapse of this. It is kind of satisfying watching all the little piles build up. And I didn't film all of it scraping because it just took so long, but I did get almost all of the finish off. It just took forever. Jumping into the orbital sander now. This is that same piece that I was just working on, and that's what the wood looked like after I finished scraping nearly all of it. I didn't scrape the edges because of the seams, made it a little bit difficult, but this piece really wasn't that bad. There is some little bits of water damage, you can kind of tell in the video, but most of that even came out, especially after sanding. I think I'm sanding here with, I think I started with 120 grit, which in retrospect I probably should have used a little bit heavier of a grit at first, maybe not necessarily 80, but you know, something a little bit bigger than 120, because that did take quite a bit of time, especially getting that last bit of finish that was still stuck on those edges. But I went through and gave the whole thing a solid sanding, and it was actually really cold out. There was snow on the ground, so not the most fun. My hands were freezing. That's why I keep trying to put them in between my thighs and switching off because it was so cold. But I couldn't wear my gloves because I couldn't press the button in while wearing the gloves. I attempted to sand the sides. Don't recommend doing this either. Yeah, I think it kind of went through the veneer a little bit, and it's just really hard to get a grip on it and sand at that kind of small edging. You're just better off sanding with sandpaper. So here I am with the paper off of the sander, and I'm hand sanding everything. I think I'm still going at this with 120 grit sandpaper. I should have went at, especially hand sanding, I should have went with 80 grit because this took so long. I am wearing the gloves now, but my hands are already so numb from sanding the whole thing with the orbital sander for so long and the freezing cold. And yes, my hoodie does have a big old hole in the elbow. Had that hoodie forever, so that's kind of like my yard work hoodie I always wear. So this was quite tedious, and it kept wobbling. It still wobbles, I never fix that, but you know, whatever, I guess. Just sanding away. All right, so here's 2 videos. I filmed it this way to use these clips for a TikTok. So this is me working on the coffee table, and then the other end table. I did go at these with 80 grit. As you can tell, the one video, it was almost nighttime, so it's kind of crazy watching it get dark so quickly. It was cold in both these videos, obviously colder the one on the right because you can still see all the snow on the ground. But yeah, a lot of sanding and a lot of hand sanding now on the coffee table. And then the end table, I'm still just making sure I go on the edges. I was really careful around the lifted edge because I didn't want to go through the veneer even more. And then I went around all the edges. I don't even think I attempted the edges on that one because I knew that was a bad idea. But look at how much better it already looks just being sanded off. Still some water stains, and you can't tell as much in the video, but those black stains are definitely still there. Although maybe slightly lessened. And then here I am working on the legs. I don't know why. I didn't film any of the sanding of the legs, and I stained them, but the stain just didn't stick very well with it, unfortunately. But I did try, and I actually left it on there for a while, and I went back through and wiped it on there twice, and this is the best it looks. And then now I'm working on the little end table. I decided just to do the top and the shelf. And here I am going in with the wood bleach on each of the tables, but mostly on this one with the black spots. I didn't really notice a big difference on any of them, to be honest. But I did try, and maybe it did make a slight difference, and I just didn't realize it. The black stains, though, did not come out at all, and I think they were actually burn marks, and that's probably why they didn't lift. And here I am now finishing the first end table that I started, putting the stain on it. And I used the Minwax, I think it was the cedar one. Sorry, I should have took notes to give you guys all this information, but I went in with a sponge brush and I just wiped it all over the top of it. And then later on, I came back in and wiped it off with a scrap piece of t-shirt fabric. The color, I would say, isn't perfect. It's a little bit on the red side, but I think it does the trick. Next time I would definitely use a walnut, or I know that a lot of the other videos I watch, they use the candle light stain. So maybe I'll try that. I forgot what the brand was, but I'll put that in the title. I also think that maybe I won't use a stain in general. I think I am in a group on Facebook about mid-century modern furniture, and someone had mentioned that to kind of hide the color variations that the manufacturer would typically use, I think they said it wasn't a stain, it was something else. So I'll have to look into that for next time, because I do think the pieces turned out much better than they were, and it looks pretty good with the wood finish, but it kind of is a little bit mismatched, especially because I decided not to do the legs on these two pieces, and since the legs on the coffee table were so different, it kind of made a drastic difference. So I'll have to look into a different option next time. Okay, and here I am, double video again, doing the stand on the coffee table and the other end table. And same thing, just wiping it all over the sponge brush and then wiping it off with the tissue rag. And now I'm starting to do some touch-ups over those black spots on the one end table with some paint. I just tried to mix it the best I could. This worked okay. The problem was, there was a patch on the coffee table where the veneer came off and I had to do the same thing. The problem with this is it's left kind of a shiny spot on these tables, so you can tell, and in certain lighting it's more obvious than others. So I did the best I could. I also fixed the little patch on the veneer. You'll see a close-up later and it's not the best, honestly. All right, and there you have it. They're all done. So I'll go ahead and show you how everything turned out a little bit more up close, and kind of go over all of that while I walk you through it. Okay, so here is the second end table. You can kind of see those spots. Now you can really see those spots. And there's the veneer patch right there. I did wipe on polyurethane 3 layers on each of these, let them dry the 4 hours in between, and it was like a satin finish. Here is the coffee table. The legs, the stain didn't take it all, and in retrospect I really wished I didn't do the legs because it was a big waste of time, but they are nice and silky smooth. There's the spot that I had to paint over with that went through the veneer, and it turned out really good. I really like the coffee table. I'm so glad I refinished it. And here is the other end table. This one really looks good. The wood variance on top is kind of drastic and obviously not perfect, but I think it looks good. And here is the other end table. The wood's still a little bit mismatched, but obviously not as drastic as it was. The red color is no longer there, and I like it a lot better. And I did end up selling that one for $120. And yeah, so not too bad. And yeah, this is how everything turned out. And sorry I didn't film an outro, but thank you guys for watching, and I'll hopefully see you in the next one.